Ship released. Departure authorized.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Warning. Taking heat damage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. 50%. Surface scan complete. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Flight assist on. Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
Caution is advised.
deployed.
Only to proceed directly to your allotted bay to avoid unnecessary delays.
Landing successful. Engines disengaged.
Oncoming traffic in the access road. Observe minimum.
Clear for egress.
Landing gear retracted.
Welcome, Commander. Please make your way to the designated landing pad.
Frameshift drive charging.
You are clear of the station. Stay safe, Commander.
4, 3, 2, 1. drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. 2, 1, engage.
Warning. Ship abductions by fleet carriers. Pilots Federation alert. This is an emergency bulletin to alert independent pilots that kidnappers are operating in the vicinity of the HR-6828
Frameshift drive charging.
system. The Pilots Federation has received reports of untrustworthy offers being made to commanders who recently obtained their pilot's license. These involve the owners of Drake-class fleet carriers in
4,
Taiwan.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Using a pilot to outfit their ship for mining operations before docking with a larger vessel. It then makes a series of jumps to a distant star system over 800 light-years away, taking the docked ship. The commander is encouraged to work on mining hotspots in order to produce income for the fleet carrier. However, their own ship's limited jump range means they are effectively marooned and reliant upon the fleet carrier
Frameshift drive charging.
to be returned to their starting system. All pilots are therefore advised to beware of hails directing them to HR-6828 or systems in that area. It is also important to exercise
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
extreme caution when docking with any fleet carrier whose owner is unknown. The Pilots Federation has requested that this bulletin be shared by all members across public channels. It has also been distributed to major news feeds including the Alliance Tribune, the Federal Times, the Imperial Herald and Vox Galactica.
Warning. Temperature critical. Hull integrity compromised.
Admiral Vincent pronounced guilty. A federal high court jury has found Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and treason. The court heard how Vincent worked with Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester to sabotage Starship One and assassinate then-President Jasmina Halsey in order to increase military contracts. The Federal Times' crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi observed, within minutes of Vincent receiving a life sentence, Federal Intelligence Agency teams arrested several co-conspirators in the Federal Navy along with some government officials. Jupiter Rochester himself has evaded arrest by fleeing to the HIP 54530 system, where
Frameshift drive charging.
loyalists within Core Dynamics are establishing a breakaway faction named Jupiter Division.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Warning. Temperature critical.
Analysts believe that this corporate split has long been planned, but is being accelerated because of the trial. Rochester's responsibility for the Starship One tragedy raises many questions, especially for his powerful family. It will certainly fuel the conspiracy theory that he is a member of a covert group of powerful figures who manipulate events to benefit the military and industrial complex. However, a more plausible theory that Zachary Hudson was responsible now seems to have been debunked. Nothing presented in court suggested that the president had any involvement in, or knowledge of, the plan to eliminate his predecessor. Jupiter Rochester named in Starship One trial. Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester has been accused of collaborating with Fleet Admiral Vincent to orchestrate Starship One's destruction in 3301. As reported by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal Times, financial data was presented to the court showing that Vincent, along with others in government and the Federal Navy, received colossal payments via shell companies created by Jupiter Rochester's loyalists. The prosecution claimed that Rochester and Vincent were reacting to then-President Jasmina Halsey's intention to scale back military spending, which would impact Core Dynamics' profits. They arranged to assassinate her and lay groundwork for Zachary Hudson to be voted into power, knowing that his policies would result in further naval contracts. The defense argued that Halsey's testimony was unreliable and that the financial data was obtained via improper methods, so should have been inadmissible. It was also pointed out that the Rochester family had many enemies determined to besmirch their reputation. The jury has now been sequestered to determine a verdict. This means they are unaware of media reports that several Core Dynamics departments, known collectively as Jupiter Division, are transporting ships and personnel to the HIP Universal Group has officially assumed the name Jupiter Division, suggesting that it was heavily infiltrated by Rochester's loyalists. The faction has retained control of the permit-locked HIP-5 4530 system.
Surface scanned by 50%.
Engineers Enhanced Missile Rack Initiative. Pilots Federation Alert. The engineerless rider has requested mined materials to help make a previously unique ship module widely available. The module is a fully engineered lightweight and high-capacity Class 2 Seeker missile rack with thermal cascade. It was offered in October 3306 to pilots who helped defend the Eurybia system from Imperial forces. At the time, the Emperor
Frameshift drive charging.
suspected Liz Ryder of supplying weapons to the NMLA terrorist group. ENS Ryder has announced that her aim is to make this specially modified weapon available for purchase at all human technology brokers.
Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
He added, pilots can help kickstart this project by providing mined commodities, which will temporarily reduce the amount of materials the customers require to obtain the missile rack. As a bonus, the highest contributors to this initiative will be gifted with the module. I'm pleased to be working with tech brokers to add this to the market. Many engineers think we could do more to serve the galactic community, and this is a step in that direction.
Frameshift drive charging.
Shipments of bromelite, lithium hydroxide, osmium and samarium can be delivered to a Wyra Flurble in the Eurybia system. Empire denies existence of secret prison.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Pilots Federation alert. An Imperial intelligence detention facility discovered in the RCRA sector AFAD-42 system has been repudiated by the Empire. The outpost, named Serene Harbor, was located after its distress call was shared publicly by the Pilots Federation. According to the commander Andy X, who first investigated the site, all its occupants were dead as the result of what appeared to be a prisoner breakout. Unlike the Imperial Internal Security Service, the Imperial Intelligence Organization has no spokespeople or public channels. However, Senator Carl Nerva told the media, the claim that high-security prisoners and terrorists are being tortured for information in an unregistered outpost is categorically false. There is no such place as Serene Harbor. We believe that independent pilots have been duped by a federal ploy to undermine the Empire, using fake locations and logs for theatrical effect. I assure all citizens that Imperial intelligence operates fully within the law and remains vigilant against all threats. When asked about Commandant Gabriel DeLuca, who was identified by surviving logs at the outpost, Senator Nerva replied, Captain DeLuca was indeed an agent of Imperial intelligence, but died on active duty several years ago. It's obvious that this respected hero's identity has been stolen to add credibility to anti-Imperial disinformation.
Frameshift drive charging.
Core Dynamics implicated in Starship One sabotage. Evidence presented at the trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent suggested financial links to Federal Shipbuilding Corporation.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Dynamics. This significant development was covered by Ethan Takahashi for the Federal Times. The initial investigations around Starship One's destruction in 3301 were outlined by the prosecution. When the Federal Attorney's Office revisited this historical data, traces were found of financial transfers routed through non-Federation banking systems.
Frameshift drive charging.
The FAO brought in the expertise of the Wallglass Investigations Agency, which discovered that these transactions were made via shell companies created by Core Dynamics. Fleet Admiral Vincent,
4, 3, 2, 1,
as well as several other naval officers, received billions of credits through these companies that went undeclared. Vincent refused to answer any questions about this evidence, once again claiming that he was the victim of a conspiracy to hand the presidency to Felicia Winters. Despite multiple requests from the press,
fuel scooping.
Core Dynamics has not made any public comment. There are unverified reports of large-scale activity taking place at some of the corporation's centers of operation.
Fuel scooping complete.
Alliance
Frameshift
election
drive
delayed
charging.
due to Galactic Summit. The Alliance Assembly has agreed to delay electing a new Prime Minister to avoid clashing with the forthcoming Galactic Summit. The proposal to postpone the election date came from Prime Minister Edmund Mahone.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Now that the diplomatic conference has been confirmed, we must adapt to take advantage of this historic event. A potential change in leadership occurring at the same time as the Galactic Summit would cause confusion and undermine the Alliance's presence. Although Mahone's proposal was voted through by a narrow margin, many council members disagreed with altering the political calendar.
Frameshift drive charging.
Councillor Nakato Kane, who is a candidate in the election, declared, "It is outrageous that the Prime Minister is using this as an excuse to extend his term in office. Once again, he is more
4, 3, 2, 1.
concerned with projecting the Alliance as a superpower in the interests of member systems. This behavior is what you'd expect from a corrupt emperor or president, clinging onto power at any cost. The Assembly has rescheduled the election to take place 3 months later in May 3307, although this remains only provisional. Halsey suggests
Frameshift drive charging.
its motivation for assassination attempt. At the trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent, former President Jasmina Halsey has revealed possible reasons behind the sabotage of Starship One in 3300.
4, 3, 2,
1. Crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported from the Federal High Court. Jasmina Halsey provided details of a top-level federal cabinet meeting in late April 3301, an event which was never declassified. Its aim was to address the high levels of public dissatisfaction with her administration. At the meeting, Halsey explained that she had been inspired by various peace activists to
Frameshift drive charging.
focus on the well-being of citizens. She planned to reduce taxes, invest in social infrastructure and slash federal Navy spending. As yet, this was only a preliminary plan to be implemented later.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That year, Halsey told the court that only a dozen officials were present at this meeting, including Fleet Admiral Vincent. All were told that this forthcoming sea change in policy was confidential, and to expect major budget changes in the coming months. The prosecution counsel stated
System scan complete. Fuel
was
scooping.
therefore aware that naval defunding was imminent, something which would
Frameshift drive charging.
reduce his personal influence. It would also impact powerful individuals who Vincent was illegally connected to, evidence of which would be presented in due course.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Anonymous source refers to distress call location. Pilots Federation alert. An encrypted message seems to provide planetary coordinates related to the mysterious signal from Serene Harbor. The message received by the Pilots Federation was as follows. Welcome to Serene Harbor.
Fuel scooping.
56.4 latitude,
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift
minus
drive
8.3
charging.
longitude. Theta 7. Although this pinpoints a geographical area on a planetary surface, the astronomical location of this body remains a mystery. It is unclear whether
4, 3, 2, 1.
Theta 7 refers to additional map coordinates of some kind, or is a code phrase intended for unknown recipients. Little is known about the original distress call, other than its brief content. This is an emergency broadcast on all frequencies from Serene Harbor. We are.
Fuel scooping.
Request for pilots to trace distress call. Pilots Federation alert.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
An independent vessel has detected a fragment of a mysterious message coming from an unexplored region of space. Commander Elsa Solomon was traveling through the Swalls XXDC 130.
3,
when her ship's communications array picked up a faint transmission. The message was as follows. This is an emergency broadcast on all frequencies from Serene Harbor. We are...
Warning. Temperature critical.
The transmission ended abruptly and did not resume.
Fuel scooping.
The signal did not contain any
Fuel scooping complete.
identification data or indications as to its origin. Commander Solomon
Frameshift drive charging.
gave more details to Vox Galactica. The message appeared in my comms panels as text and an electronically generated voice. I wasn't able to determine a source, only that it was broadcast within
4, 3, 2, 1.
80 light years of that system. My schedule was tight, so I couldn't spend long tracking it. I have no idea if Serene Harbor is a starport, a settlement, or even a megaship, but this is obviously a missing signal. Someone somewhere is in serious trouble. I've asked the Pilots Federation to
Fuel scooping.
share the information in case any of
Fuel scooping complete.
my fellow commanders can help. To help triangulate the source,
Frameshift drive charging.
there is a call out to any other ships that were in the area at the time, which may have received a similar broadcast. However, no responses have been received as yet.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Sirius Corporation secures hosting of Galactic Summit. Pilots Federation alert. Sirius Corporation has received more data than Utopia and will therefore host the Galactic Summit. Both organizations propose to organize a diplomatic conference for the Alliance, Empire, and Federation.
Fuel scooping. Fuel
After
scooping
calling on the
complete.
galactic community to gather data that would support security operations, many pilots handed in anomalous bulk scan data, atypical disrupted wake echoes, exceptional scramble
Frameshift drive charging.
emission data, and unusual encrypted files. All three superpower governments confirmed that due to its success in preparing effective security systems, they will accept Sirius Corporation as the neutral
4,
territory
3, 2,
for the conference. CEO Li Yongrui made this announcement. Thank you to all the independent pilots who supported us. Sirius will now begin work preparing for the first Galactic Summit, which we hope will increase peace and prosperity across the galaxy. Pilots who delivered to Sirius
Fuel scooping.
Corporation can collect their rewards from
Fuel scooping complete.
Goldstein port in the Lembava system. Simguru Pranav Antal expressed disappointment, but confirmed that all who contributed to Utopia's initiative will be rewarded at Tana settlement in the Palemnic system. Sirius Corporation has stated that the Galactic Summit is provisionally scheduled to take place over a 3-week period in late February and early March. Jasmina Halsey provides testimony about Starship One. Former President Jasmina Halsey has
Frameshift drive charging.
taken the witness stand during the trial of Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent at the Federal High Court. Crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported the details for the Federal Times. Jasmina Halsey
4, 3, 2, 1.
confirmed that the orders for Starship One's unscheduled stopover in the Azalic system came directly from Fleet Admiral Vincent. She added that the presidential itinerary was often altered for various mundane reasons, and at the time this seemed routine. Halsey also provided an account of the vessel's
Fuel scooping.
destruction, describing the chaos and panic on board as the hyperspace
Fuel scooping complete.
misjump caused rapid structural disintegration. She praised her security detail for getting her into a cryogenic stasis pod and launching it moments before Starship One exploded. During cross-examination, the defense counsel quoted her reported visions after being rescued, when Halsey described meeting the caretakers of our galaxy and experiencing the infinities of the cosmos. It was suggested that the testimony of someone suffering from such obvious delusions should be discounted. Halsey admitted that she no longer has any memory of making those statements and may have been suffering from post-traumatic shock. She then provided the court with psychological reports and neural scans from the Alliance's finest doctors, medically confirming that she is of sound state of mind. trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent begins. The Federal High Court on Mars has opened the trial of Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent, who is charged with conspiracy to commit murder and treason. Vincent stands accused of organizing the sabotage of Starship One in 3301, resulting in hundreds of deaths. The Federal Times' crime correspondent Ethan Takahashi reported. The trial began with the prosecution counsel outlining the case. Material evidence obtained from Chief Technician Rory Webster, whose testimony led to Vincent's arrest, was presented before the jury. Vincent was questioned about a secure transmission from his office to the presidential vessel on the 24th of May 3301, ordering an unscheduled diversion to the Azalic system for routine maintenance. This is where Webster's engineering team followed Vincent's orders to install the sabotaged hyperdrive component that caused the misjump. Evading the questions, Vincent claimed that the entire trial was a Liberal Party cover-up and that Starship One was destroyed to put Winters in charge. With the loss of President Halsey and Vice President Naylor, Felicia Winters did indeed assume the role of acting president and became leader of the Liberal Party. However, the defense counsel played down these accusations, instead declaring that Webster's recordings of Vincent's orders could have been falsified. Councillor Kane campaigns for Alliance votes. Councillor Nakato Kane is visiting key systems across the Alliance as part of her bid to be elected as the next Prime Minister. Of all the challengers to the incumbent Edmund Mahone, Kane has the most support from fellow council members. She has represented the Tionisla system for nearly a decade and is renowned for delivering forceful speeches before the Assembly. Kane's disapproval of the expansionist policies in recent years has struck a chord with people in many systems. She also has a strong reputation among the Old Worlds, which are viewed as the historic hub of the Alliance. During a political rally on Listi, Councillor Kane directly criticized her election opponent. Prime Minister Mahone clearly thinks that the Alliance must mimic the Empire's arrogance and the Federation's corporate greed. He has repeatedly led us into conflict with the Thargoid race, risking millions of lives so we could raid their territories like thieves in the night. I believe that we should be inspired by the mutual cooperation that once made the Old Worlds thrive. We must invest in trade and security to benefit our member systems, instead of pretending to be a monolithic superpower. Marlinist colonies receive emergency food supplies. Pilots Federation alert. Large amounts of food commodities have been delivered to the Marlinist colonies. Multiple shipments of animal meat, fish, fruit and vegetables and grain were transported to Stillman Hub. Messages of gratitude were broadcast from all the Marlinist factions, which have distributed these vital supplies across the 8 colony systems. The Free Marlinists of Karini also issued bounty vouchers for wanted ships, in order to protect the deliveries. Contributing pilots can now collect their rewards from Stillman Hub in the HIP 22550 system. In related news, the first Marlinist Parliament has been democratically elected. The respected community leader Dr. Jenna Fairfax was chosen by a majority public vote to be First Minister. In a public address, she said, "This path was not chosen by us, but our people have turned Marlindevel's ideology into a functioning Republican society. Now that we are fully independent members of the galactic community, we can repay those who aided our survival by offering discounts on commodities and establishing regular trading." Sirius and Utopia compete to host Galactic Summit. Pilots Federation alert. Rival initiatives to arrange a diplomatic conference have been launched by Sirius Corporation and the Utopia Commune. The Alliance Assembly, Federal Congress and Imperial Senate have each provisionally agreed to send delegates to the first Tri-Superpower Galactic Summit in late February. This political gathering will also be attended by representatives from independent systems. All parties have specified that their participation depends upon the event being successfully organized in neutral territory and with sufficient resources and security in place. Sirius Corporation and Utopia have begun to gather supplies to host the conference. Both have requested assistance from the galactic community to provide a broad range of data, which will be vital for planning security operations. Whichever organization obtains the greatest amount of data will be deemed most suitable. The following data sources are of interest to both parties: anomalous bulk scan data, atypical disrupted wake echoes, exceptional scrambled emission data, and unusual encrypted files. Singuru Pranam Antal has called upon all pilots who support Utopia's proposal to deliver the data to Tanna settlement in the Pelevnik system. CEO Leong Rui has asked all those who believe Sirius Corporation to be a more suitable host to deliver the data to Goldstein Port in the Lembava system. Jasmina Halsey returns to the Federation. Former President Jasmina Halsey has arrived on Mars to stand as a witness in the upcoming trial of Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent. Halsey was subpoenaed by the Federal High Court to testify before the jury. Although this was not legally enforceable, since she now lives beyond the Federation's jurisdiction, she has acceded to the court's request. Jasmina Halsey served as federal president prior to the destruction of Starship 1 in 3301, which Vincent is accused of arranging. She was recovered alive, but abandoned her political career and emigrated to the Alliance. She has since campaigned as a peace activist and acted as an advisor to Prime Minister Edmund Mahone. After greeting a large crowd of supporters at Olympus Village Spaceport, Halsey gave a statement to the Federal Times.
Surface scanned by 50%.
This is a bittersweet moment for me. Coming back to the Federation feels like revisiting a past life, but perhaps we can finally lay some ghosts to rest. She was welcomed in person by Shadow President Felicia Winters, who is Secretary of State in Halsey's administration. However, President Zachary Hudson has made no comment regarding his predecessor's return or the forthcoming trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent. Prime Minister Mahone campaigns for re-election. Edmund Mahone has launched a political campaign to be elected as the Alliance's leader for a
Surface scan complete.
second term. The incumbent Prime Minister is undertaking a whistle-stop tour across Alliance space to rouse support. Only members of the Assembly can cast votes in this election, but they will be heavily influenced by public opinion within their systems. Mahone's campaign has focused on the Alliance's huge expansion during his 6-year premiership, with reminders of triumphs such as the Alliance Festival of Culture. His ability to handle a crisis has also been highlighted, including President Kincaid's attempted coup and the League of Reparations crusade. More recent examples of his leadership are welcoming Marlinist refugees from the Empire and exploiting the Coalsack Nebula to boost economic prosperity. However, Mahone's critics have pointed out that both strategies increase the risk of attack from neo-Marlinist terrorists and the Thargoids. Addressing a packed conference hall on Birmingham in his home system of Deso, Mahone proclaimed,
Frameshift drive charging.
"In an increasingly turbulent galaxy, making it important to maintain a steady hand at the wheel. I will be honored to continue representing the diverse peoples of the Alliance."
4, 3, 2, 1.
Galactic Summit proposal from Sirius Corporation. Utopia's ability to host a diplomatic conference for all three superpowers has been challenged by the Sirius Corporation. The Megacorp's counter-proposal was announced by CEO Leong Rui. With all due respect to Singuru Antal, his communist
Fuel scooping.
cannot match our level of resources. Sirius is far better placed in terms of
Fuel scooping complete.
logistics and security,
Frameshift drive charging.
and our Navy will be able to ensure the safe transportation of all delegates. Furthermore, we already have excellent commercial relationships with the Alliance, Empire, and Federation, and can therefore guarantee
4, 3, 2, 1.
neutrality. Our recent philanthropic gesture at creating the Marlinist colonies proves that we are an impartial, stabilizing force for the whole galaxy. Discussions regarding the conference have been ongoing with superpower and independent systems alike. Some leaders have decried it as a pointless exercise,
Fuel scooping.
while others view it
Fuel scooping complete.
as a rare opportunity for political cohesion.
Frameshift drive charging.
Sirius Corporation and Utopia's propositions for a galactic summit are now being compared by potential attendees. However, Zachary Rackham's offer to host the conference at the actual Galactic Summit of
4, 3, 2, 1.
Peak is not being seriously considered. Uncertainty hits takeover of Lacon Spaceways. The purchase of shipbuilding company Lacon Spaceways by Core Dynamics is in doubt after allegations of illegal business practices. Earth and Carry reported on the recent developments for
Fuel scooping.
the Alliance Tribune. The Independent Commission for Market Equality has confirmed that
Frameshift drive charging.
several Lacon shareholders sold their stock to shell companies, which were covertly established by departments within Core Dynamics. Furthermore, 2 serious accusations of blackmail have been referred to Alliance
4, 3, 2, 1.
Trent Delaney, Lacon's newly installed chairperson, has dismissed these claims. But coupled with serious rumblings from the Council of Admirals over losing a military supplier, this hostile takeover now looks less certain. In the Federation, the newsfeed sold today ran an
Fuel scooping.
editorial piece on the situation.
Fuel scooping complete.
Acquiring Lacon is
Frameshift drive charging.
another bold triumph for manufacturing Colossus Core Dynamics. It's a shame that it's being undermined by the petty bureaucrats of the Alliance, who should be gratefully grasping this financial lifeline. It's also
4, 3, 2, 1.
laughable that CEO Jupiter Rochester, one of our titans of industry, is being stabbed in the back by old-fashioned colleagues who are clearly jealous of his success. Perhaps his Jupiter division has finally outgrown the corporation and deserves to forge its own path. Meanwhile,
Fuel scooping.
systems request emergency food.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Pilots Federation alert. The newly settled Marlinist colonies have asked for urgent deliveries of foodstuffs. Millions of Marlinists have relocated to 8 systems colonized for them by the Sirius
4, 3, 2, 1.
Corporation, thereby reducing tension between the Empire and the Federation. They have asked Universal Cartographics to delay a census of the system's populations, while the refugees lay the infrastructure for their new societies. The Marlinist factions are holding democratic elections to select their...
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
However, the Transitional Parliament has declared an emergency due to the shortage of
Frameshift drive charging.
food stocks. Community spokesperson Dr. Jenna Fairfax announced, "We are grateful to the galactic community and Sirius Corporation for providing homes. However, we need further help to feed our
4, 3, 2, 1.
people in the short term until we can become self-sufficient. The more supplies we can stockpile, the faster our economies will develop. This in turn will allow us to offer greater commodity discounts to encourage the establishment of regular trade routes. Pilots are asked to deliver animal
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
fruit
Frameshift drive charging.
and vegetables and grain to Stillman Hub in the HIP 22550 system. As this system's defense forces are still being formed, the Free Marlinists of Carini have offered bounties on all
4, 3, 2, 1.
ships to secure these initial trade runs to the Marlinist colonies. Xenological samples delivered to Colonia. Pilots Federation alert. The Holloway Bioscience Institute has rewarded pilots who delivered living matter extracted from space-dwelling organisms.
Fuel scooping.
Many shipments of seed pod tissue samples arrived at
Frameshift drive charging.
Station, from where they will be transported to the Holloway Biology Center on Colonia 7G. These will be used to replenish stocks used in the facility's experimentation program. Dr. Roy
4, 3, 2, 1.
Casimir, chief researcher at the center, expressed his gratitude. These vital supplies mean that we can resume our studies on the incredible organisms that float through the void. Here at Holloway remain many many breakthroughs in the field of xenobiology, some with intriguing commercial possibilities.
System scan complete. Fuel
The
scooping.
Holloway Bioscience Institute now plans to establish experimental
Fuel scooping complete.
for
Frameshift
habitats
drive
for vacuum
charging.
life forms in the following systems: EOL-PRU PCKC9221, EOL-PRU LWLC899, EOL-PRU KWLC8301.
4, 3, 2, 1.
EOL-PRU PCKC9154. Pilots who contributed to this initiative can now collect their rewards from Jacques Station in the Colonia system.
Warning. Temperature critical.
Dynamics Insider discusses Lakon takeover.
Fuel scooping.
Anonymous source within
Fuel scooping complete.
Shipbuilding Corporation Core Dynamics has revealed details behind its hostile takeover of Lakon Spaceways. The nameless insider had previously stated that the acquisition of Lakon was the personal project of Core Dynamics CEO Jupiter Rochester.
Frameshift drive charging.
These additional claims were broadcast via Vox Galactica. In the last few years, Rochester has purchased many companies based outside the Federation, such as Vodal. Lakon Spaceways is
4, 3, 2, 1.
just the latest. It seems legal, but he manages these subsidiaries directly and installs his own people there. Some say he's diversifying his family's private holdings rather than expanding the business. It's well known that several departments only follow Rochester's directives and operate in silos unconnected with the rest of Core Dynamics. Staff refer to them as Jupiter Division. Some offices even started using that name, like
Frameshift drive charging.
they're a separate company within a company. I've heard that some directors are unhappy with Rochester, but he's too well connected to ever get rid of. It's thanks to him that we have so many military contracts.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Always, the rich get away with anything. Core Dynamics declined to comment on this statement. Naomi Landseer, former chairperson of the Lakon Spaceways Board of Directors, has asked the Independent Commission for Market Equality to investigate further.
Fuel scooping.
Date set for trial of Fleet Admiral Vincent. Fleet Admiral Lucas Vincent of the
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Federal Navy will stand trial on the 25th of January, charged with conspiracy to commit murder and treason. The Federal Attorney's Office has successfully obtained a grand jury indictment against Fleet Admiral Vincent. He is accused of arranging the sabotage of presidential vessel Starship 1 in 3301 to assassinate then-President Jasmina Halsey. Although she was later recovered alive, hundreds died when the ship was destroyed in flight. These charges were brought following the trial of Rory Webster, a naval technician who was implicated in the failure of Starship 1's hyperdrive system. Mr. Webster confessed his involvement, but offered a plea bargain by providing evidence that he was following clandestine orders from Vincent.
Frameshift drive charging.
The subsequent arrest caused repercussions in military and political circles. President Zachary Hudson's long-term association with Vincent resulted in Republican congressmen losing confidence
4, 3, 2,
in his leadership and increased the Liberal Party's popularity. As a naval chief of staff, Fleet Admiral Vincent is the highest-ranking federal military officer to ever stand trial. Media interest remains intense, with much public speculation about corruption among the Federation's highest
System scan complete.
echelon. The trial will take place at the Federal High Court in Olympus Village on Mars and is expected to last several weeks. Warning of ship abductions by fleet carriers. Pilots Federation alert. This is an emergency bulletin to alert
Frameshift drive charging.
independent pilots that kidnappers are operating in the vicinity of the HR 6828 system. The Pilots Federation has received reports of untrustworthy offers being made to commanders who recently
4, 3, 2, 1.
obtained their pilot's license. These involve the owners of Drake-class fleet carriers enticing a pilot to outfit their ship for mining operations before docking with a larger vessel. It then makes a series of jumps to a distant star system over 800 light-years away, taking the docked ship with it. The
Fuel scooping.
commander is encouraged to work on mining hotspots in order to produce income for the fleet carrier. However, their own ship's
Fuel scoop disengaged.
limited jump range means they are effectively marooned and reliant upon the fleet carrier to be returned to their starting system. All pilots are therefore advised to beware of hails directing them to HR 6828 or systems in that area. It is also important to exercise extreme caution when docking with any fleet carrier whose owner is unknown. The Pilots Federation has requested that this bulletin be shared by all members across public channels. It has also been distributed to major news feeds including the Alliance Tribune, the Federal Times, the Imperial Herald.
Surface scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. 50%. Surface scan complete.
Delay Seagulls, Echo, November. Federal Flight Control Channel open. Observe docking protocols if you wish to land. Permission authorized. Proceed to landing pad 06.
Flight assist off. Flight assist on. Landing gear deployed. Incoming message. Scan detected. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Orbital flight engaged.
6. Decrease speed to 100.
Landing gear deployed.
1,000 meters from touchdown. Attention, Commander. This is a no-fire zone. Aggressors will be penalized. Landing operation complete. Dispatching ground crew. Welcome, Commander.